Welcome back to our celebration segment. Looks like Shao is at a rehearsal. Let's see who's with him.
So, Leon, you and I are quite similar. I mean, we both played the piano.
You do?
Yeah, I dabble. I mean, I stopped around the second grade or so. But how long have you been playing piano?
Long time, since I was 6. I'm not going to tell you how old I am now, but it's been decades. All right.
Been decades?
Yeah.
And so, how and why did you get involved in this festival in the first place?
Well, I think the organizer, Michelle, with FIF, and I'm an artist in support of the organization. So basically, whatever they do, and I'll be a part of that. And I think they came up with something kind of exciting, which is do something about pop music in Hong Kong. So I thought, okay, there were a lot of pop music in Hong Kong that were cover versions of French pop songs.
Right.
So I did research, and then in the process of doing so, I actually found a lot more than I was bargained for.
Oh, wow, okay.
And aside from those, we're familiar with, for example, Shirley Kwan did some covers, and they were huge hits in the 90s. And there were tons of these adaptations from the 50s, even from around the century. So I thought, okay, I have a treasure trove. I can probably put all of that into this concert. And this is a true cultural exchange in the pop sense, which I think resonates with a lot of people in Hong Kong.
Sure, and you are collaborating with Jin Lee and Tally.
Yes.
What's that experience like?
I know that they will be speaking different languages. So I'd make sure that, that was a warning to them, that, make sure that you're fluent in singing French, English, Mandarin, Cantonese, and Japanese.
Oh, wow, okay. That's
exactly. I mean, there are all these things that are in the show, and for very good reasons.
Right.
And they're very good with languages, I have to say, although none of them actually speaks French.
Well, I mean, this whole thing, I think, is also about just bringing people together and exchanging cultures and exchanging ideas, and I think that's very important. I think music is very universal as well.
That's the magic of music, but on top of that, I think I got one step further. It's actually to play with the languages. And there's a section in the event that is called, I call it the song battle. So you know what street battle is. I mean, dance battle, you do see that. But song battle, in this case, it's like between the two different versions. There's a French version of the same song and the Cantonese version or the Mandarin version, and we'll see which one sounds better.
Wow,
so it's a contest between that. So I had to be very creative in putting those together, because sometimes you don't think they actually go together.
Right.
So I had to write some transitions for that whole section. So it's very exciting between the two of them that way. There are some unlikely collaboration in music. For example, Jin has a song called The Person Under the Moon. It was a hit song from, I think, 2017 or 16, and because it's about the moon. And I thought, okay, I'm not just going to do it as is. I want to put something else to make the connection between Hong Kong culture and French culture right from the get-go. That's the very first number. So I used Claire de Lune, Debussy,
one of my
which
favorites.
everybody knows.
Yeah, one of my favorites, yes.
That would be the arrangement of her song. So that's the connection between the two. And visually, you actually see the big moon coming up. So I think that everything goes together that way.
Is there anything that you want through your performances and through this event that you want the Hong Kong people to get or take away from?
Well, I think in this time where traveling is a little bit hard, and at a price anyway, with quarantine and everything else, and I think this concert for me is a getaway. If you can't physically go somewhere, I think at least mentally you can travel. And I've written a song specifically for this concert. City of Light is Paris. For me, it's also Hong Kong, because all the neon lights, and it's celebrated all around the world. So there are a lot in common between the two cities than we know. And other than music, and there's just the city planning, visually, how do cities look. And then I think I should have a song written in celebration of that. So that song is City of Light, and it's eventually, if you can't travel anywhere, the place where you can find hope and peace is actually within you. That is the ultimate city of light. So I think that is what the concert is about.
So Michelle, how did the idea of you incorporating Cantopop into this festival come about?
Actually, this festival, I'm only responsible this particular bit because they come to me to say that, in the 30 years, actually, they've never had a Cantopop singer involved. And I thought, why not? I think maybe this is the time now to do something different, something exciting. But it was a bit of a challenge to think of having a Cantopop singer with the connection of French culture. So how this came about, and of course, I think you already talked to Leon, our super talented Leon Cole.
Yeah,
he's wonderful. So we put our heads together. So actually, at that time, those iconic Cantonese hit songs was actually directly connected to the French songs. So I said, there it is. We found the connection.
Did that process take long for you two?
He's super, super busy. And he said that, well, Michelle, I really don't have time. I said that, Leon, I need you to do it, or else I'll be sitting at your doorstep every day, every night. And he knows I could be serious. So he said, okay, I'll find time to do this.
Yeah.
And no, I mean, it's challenging, but finally we say that nothing is impossible. We're determined, we put our minds to it, and he's really come up with a fabulous program. Already this is interesting, and then I thought, we can't go just like this, and what about stage design? So we put together a team, very talented. So you guys will be very happy to see the stage is well designed, and I also got involved 2 local dress designers to dress them. And we want to show the best of Hong Kong.
Why do you think it's important for Hong Kong people here to celebrate French culture?
Well, I think every culture comes with a lot of heritage coming from different parts of the world. Actually, the French expat community is one of the largest in Asia.
Yeah.
We don't have to think hard about French culture because actually we live
kind of everywhere, right?
It's kind of everywhere. You're talking about art,
The food.
food.
Yeah.
I think it's always nice to give more in-depth knowledge of one's culture through cultural programs.
Absolutely.
The more we learn, we find that although there seems to have a lot of differences, but we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
So in
It
that,
connects us all, doesn't it? The more you learn about someone's culture and the more open you are to receiving what they have to offer, it brings us all together, and that's what this is kind of all about, I feel.
totally, and also leads to harmony
Yeah.
and understanding of the 2 communities.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's very important.
So Ophelia, I understand you came to Hong Kong about maybe 7, 8 years ago?
Yeah, 8 years almost.
8 years almost. And what made you come to Hong Kong?
So I actually picked on the map, but nobody believes me when I say this. But I wanted to be based in Asia, so I was like picking towards Asia, and it happened to be Hong Kong.
you went like
Picked.
and
Yeah.
Hong Kong. When you first came here, how did you feel? Because I think there might be a culture shock, was there not?
Yeah, definitely. The culture shock for me was the language of like all these neons, and I don't understand what it means.
Sure.
The
Same.
amazing and very high buildings.
Yeah.
But I loved it straight away. Straight away, I felt very welcomed. So I didn't know anyone, but indeed, straight away, I started to hear French in the streets, almost like I didn't leave Paris.
Oh, wow, okay.
I even went to some coffee shops and ordered my coffee in French, and I was like, am I in Hong Kong?
You made this really interesting piece over here. Is there anything in particular that kind of inspired you to make this?
So I thought, what can I do to give a thank you to this city that has welcomed me for like now almost 8 years? And I started to wonder about Fan Ho, which is the photographer that was photographing Hong Kong in the 70s, whom I really admire. And he's considered as the pioneer of Photoshop because most of his photos are actually edited. Those very sharp shadows are actually added after he took the photo. With my work, I'm also kind of like working with those new technology, doing something brand new or almost has not yet been seen that much.
Yeah, I don't think I've
seen
something like this before, yeah. It's very interactive.
So the correlation with Fan Ho and my 7 years in Hong Kong is actually that I danced in these staircases that Fan Ho photographed a lot. As also Fan Ho is not from Hong Kong, he grew up in Shanghai. And he kind of like ended here in those staircases. And This digital sculpture was captured by the motion path of my dance in those staircases. This work is interactive and gives the audience the visibility of their motion of their hands on the wall. Kind of like in a poetic way, invite people to dance with me with this work. And when I come here during the day, because this place is very, very active and there's a lot of passage, I can see different people interacting with it, and I see this work as being a universal language. Everybody plays with it. All my friends, whether they're French or local, they're very interested in that festival because the French ones are very happy to finally get to experience some of their culture. And the local ones, they're very happy and keen to discover things that they may not know about French, whether it's food, music, dance, arts. Yeah, I think we really appreciate having this.
We had a lot of interesting conversations today, and it made me realize that Hong Kong is incredibly diverse, rich with culture and art, and learning about other cultures through celebrations not only gives you information, but it gives you stories, memories, and experiences that can very well last a lifetime.